Yogis, and welcome into Saturday class with Principal Yoga. My name is Alyssa Willoughby. I'm the curator and founder of Principal Yoga in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I'm super excited to be flowing with you guys for today's Hatha Ashtanga-based Vinyasa sequence. We're going to be covering the Hatha Surya Namaskara for our warm-up before going into the Ashtanga series. We're going to be covering the 19 asanas of the Sun Salutation B before coming into a guided Vinyasa. Shavasana. We are going to tap into our alignment, into our breath, and into our thoughts. Most of our thoughts that go on during the day go unmissed. And so it's important to make sure that the dialogue of that background noise is positive. Sometimes if we think that we're failing, or if we think that we're not amounting up to the level that we wish to be at, then we let the beautiful blessings and the wonderful miracles that happen to us on a daily basis go completely unmissed. So for the next 60 minutes, I want you to use this time as a place for creativity, for freedom of expression, and above all, play. We spend so much of our day going through the repetitive, monotonous daily tasks that we forget to touch hobbies. We forget to dance, and sometimes we forget to laugh. So whether you're in the privacy of your home, your office, or wherever in the world today, I want you to play. I want you to come in and have fun. And remember that yoga is a personal practice, it's not a competition. So if there is something that I'm performing in today's class that's not calling to your practice, simply sit and observe and come back to it whenever you're ready. I want you to have fun. And above all, I want you to come into yourself. There's no better teacher than yourself. More importantly, if something is not feeling okay, don't perform it. I want you to take it easy, I want you to have fun, and more importantly, I want you to just be. Free to be yourself, and more importantly, free to express yourself. So when you're ready, I want you to bring your palms together in the middle of your mat, and I want you to rub your hands together for about 30 seconds. I want you to focus on the heat that's being built between your fingers. I want you to feel the texture of your palms. I want you to feel the heat coming from the base of your wrists all the way to the tips of your fingers. I want you to reach your fingers out long to the sky, making them longer than they ever have been. Maybe bringing your forearms together, creating more friction, creating more connection. I want you to take one big inhale through the nose. And at the top of that inhale, I want you to breathe in a little bit more air. I want you to open up through the floating ribs, and on your exhale, I want you to let it all go through the mouth and place your palms right over your face. Covering each eye gently, resting your shoulders, resting your elbows. Bring the spine taller into your seat, connecting the tailbone down to the floor. Keeping the eyes closed, I just want you to come in to what your skin feels like. Feeling your heat, feeling your body. Inhale through the nose, lifting through the spine, evenly through the left and right side bodies. Relax the shoulders. And exhale, keeping the eyes closed, remove the palms and bring them onto the knees. I want you to bring the palms facing up towards the sky, and I want you to just come into your body. With your eyes closed, I want you to imagine where your seat is. Imagine where your legs are. Now imagine where your hips are. Now your torso, and now your chest. Feel if the left or right side is a little bit more forward than the other. Now, see how you can readjust this. Sitting evenly through the left and right hip. Sitting up taller through the side bodies. Expanding out to the sides of the room with our rib cage. And drawing our shoulder blades down. Bring your attention into your chest here. I want you to focus on a three-way breath. Inhaling, dragging the air up into the floating ribs, expanding the chest out forward, and lifting through the shoulders. Create new space and new height within the spine. And on your exhale, let it go, releasing the tension, releasing whatever you came with before stepping on this mat today. Inhale through the nose. Cleansing exhale out the mouth. I want you to force the air out by pushing the diaphragm in and collapsing the ribcage into the spinal cord. 3 more cleansing breaths at your own pace, just really feeling the body lift up off of the mat. I want you to feel the top of the head coming up towards the sky and feeling the weight just completely melt off of you. Exhale, let it go, all of the tension, all of the frustration. Last and final breath, yogis. I want you to inhale through the nose, making it the biggest breath yet. Expanding the ribs out to the left and to the right. Final exhale out the mouth. At the bottom of your exhale, I want you to hold this emptiness. I want you to bring your diaphragm into the midline. I want you to bring your chin in towards the chest, and I want you to hold this space here. Inhale, lift through the nose. Bringing the chin up towards the sky. Opening up through the front of the throat, bringing the shoulder blades down. Exhale, come back down, chin parallel towards the floor. If you set intentions during your personal practice, now is the time to do so. And if you have never set an intention, then let me explain what it is. During yoga, we will push the body so repetitively that we hope our mind will just go off its rails. Creating and thinking of all the things that we went through today, of all the things that we want. Maybe it's our to-do list. Or maybe it's a thought or a memory that we just are having a hard time letting go. Maybe it's to be more peaceful, maybe it's to be more kind. Maybe it's to stand up for yourself more, or to show yourself more self-care. I want you to visualize what this intention looks like to you in your head. Inhale, breathe deeply through the front of the chest, lifting it up towards the sky, setting your intention either verbally or in your head. And if you're having a hard time setting your intention, use my personal. And that is, I am that I am. I am forever changing, I am forever growing. And I will forever be my best friend. To push myself through and to evolve into new forms that I've yet to think of. When you're ready, yogis, inhale, bring your palms towards the midline, coming into prayer pose. Bring your elbows into the floating ribs. Create more height in your spine by lifting through the tailbone and sinking through the tailbone and lifting through the top of the spine. Exhale, Ujjayi Pranayama, exhaling out of the nose, constricting the back of the throat. We will be using this breath for the remainder of our practice, building heat and building fire within our chest. I want you to be kind to your breath and to push yourself as far as you can, but to allow yourself time if you need. If you ever need a break during class, come down into our child's pose where you bring your big toes to touch and bring your knees out wide to the side. Resting the chest down, coming back into your own breath is going to help you come into our practice again. Don't let your need for a break deter you from finishing the class. When you're ready, yogis, inhale, bringing our arms up tall above our head, stretching through the side bodies and sinking deeper through the left and right hip. I want you to bring the knees down towards the floor, opening through the outer sides of our thighs and lifting up taller by bringing our gaze or drishti up to our palm. Inhale, expanding through the rib cage out towards the left and right. And our exhale, I want you to fold forward, gradually bringing your palms down in front of you, maybe coming up onto the tips of your fingers, and exhale, letting the chest roll down. Exhale, Ujjayi. Inhale, I want you to crawl your palms back, bringing the torso stacked right on top of that tailbone. I want you to bring your knees underneath your shins, and I want you to rest into our hero's pose. Pushing our feet into the floor, bring all 5 toes evenly onto the mat. I want you to roll your heels in towards one another to lay evenly on top of your shin. Drag the thighs into the hips, lift through the outer side bodies, and roll your shoulder blades back. Bring your palms on tops of your thighs, palms facing up towards the sky. Inhale, finding a taller length. And exhale, Ujjayi. On your next inhale, I want you to lift your arms up tall towards the sky, and our exhale, fold over, laying over the tops of those thighs. Rocking over the shins, bringing the left and right side body over towards each side of the mat. Rolling out your knees, rolling out your ankles, bringing that nice compression onto the thighs. Inhale, I want you to ripple your spine like a wave, stacking your knees on top underneath your hips. Bringing your palms underneath your elbows. I want you to bring your attention into your palms. Bring your attention into your thumbs, your index finger, and your middle finger. This is going to be the triad of our palm that we're going to use to push through, using the outer two fingers as support. This is going to alleviate the weight in our wrist and is going to prevent further injuries later down the road. Now I want you to bring all four fingers straight towards the front of the room and bring your thumbs facing towards one another. Now I want you to rock back and forth, opening up our knees, opening up our hips, our shoulders. Inhaling, moving with our breath, finding our own tempo and our own rhythm. I want you to just open up your joints here. This is the first time you're coming in to a free flow. Bringing the tailbone down towards the heels and bringing the hips down towards the mat if you can. And if this is a little bit too much for you, please come into our little cat-cow variations. This is where you push evenly through the knees and through the palms, reaching the spine up towards the sky. And on your exhale, you want to bring the navel down towards the floor. You want to make sure that you're evenly bringing your shoulder blades back to touch behind you, so much that you could bend your elbows. Come down into a puppy pose, where we bring our chest evenly onto the top of the mat, bringing the left and right side down, and bring your elbows into our thighs or our hips. If you're still here going into our rockabouts, I want you to come in to our still tabletop. We are going to exhale, bring that right palm out towards the front of the room and bring that left foot towards the back. If this is a little bit too much, bring your right palm down and just keep that left leg elevated. Pushing through that left heel, I want you to bring all 5 toes down facing towards the floor, and I want you to just gently kick up evenly towards the sky. Activating the back of our leg, making sure we're not dumping in our spine, and keeping our shoulders evenly towards one another. I want you to exhale, bring that foot down. We're going to come into the opposite side, lifting up with that right foot, or lifting up with that left arm and that right foot. I want you to drag that left palm forward, kick that right heel back, and create an even tabletop in your spine. We're going to gently kick up with that right foot towards the sky, keeping that left knee right underneath that left hip and that right shoulder right on top of that right wrist. On your exhale, drop it down. We're going to open our knees out wide, bringing our big toes to touch, and exhale, rock down, bringing that tailbone onto the back of our heels. Extending the torso through on top of our thighs, coming into a nice little child pose just to open up the back of the shoulders and the back of the spine. Try to move with your breath here, really rocking and rolling through the hips. Remember to go evenly on both sides. If you go to the left and to the right, or if you go into little barrel poses or barrel rolls, that's totally okay. Just remember to move the body evenly. There are many planes of movement with the human body, not just sitting and not just bending. So let's move our side bodies. Let's get our intention in. Oh, thank you, Siri. And on your exhale, come back into center. I want you to bring that top, I want you to reach the top of the head towards the front of the mat, elongating the spine just a little bit more. Inhale, I want you to reach that left palm over towards the left side of the mat. And on your exhale, reach that right palm to cover the left. I want you to gracefully bring that left side body onto that left top thigh and bring your chest down towards the mat. Inhale, dragging the top of the head forward. And exhale, let it all go. Inhale, coming up onto the tippy toes of your fingers. I want you to crawl over towards that right, placing that right palm on top of that right side mat and covering the left palm with, and covering that right palm with the left. I want you to bring that right side body onto that thigh, reaching through the entire right side body, keeping our shoulders evenly and tucked behind us. Breathing through that lower spine. I want you to exhale, sink down and let it all go. One more cleansing breath, inhaling through the nose and out of the nose, Ujjayi. Inhale, coming up onto the tiptoes of our fingers. I want you to roll the spine forward, coming back into our tabletop. Coming into our little rockabouts, I want you to bring that tailbone towards the heels. I want you to bring the hips towards the mat. Coming into whatever variation is accessible for you today. Don't push if you're just not ready. On our last exhale, I want you to come into our Plankasana. I want you to push through the triad of our palm. Again, this is going to be our thumb, our index finger, and our middle finger. I want you to stack the toes right underneath the heel and bring all 5 toes gently onto the mat. Rocking back and forth, just finding our foundation before dropping down all the way to the floor. I want you to push the weight over the wrist. Bring the elbows into the floating ribs, coming into a 90-degree bend. On your exhale, come all the way down towards the mat. I want you to bring your arms out wide into a football field goalpost. We're going to bring our right cheek onto the floor, and we're going to kick that right foot up towards the sky. Bringing that right foot into a 90-degree angle, I want you to kick up and down. Kicking up and kicking down. I want you to flip, bringing that left shin down onto the mat. And on your next inhale, kicking that foot up towards the sky. On your exhale, I want you to roll over, opening that right hip up. Keeping the left side body completely onto the floor. I want you to just open up through this torso and through that right hip. Breathing through the stretch. On your exhale, bring it down. I want you to flip your cheek coming onto the right side. I want you to kick that left foot up towards the sky. We're going to do gentle donkey kicks up towards the ceiling. And just breathing through it for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you need to drop it down and stretch out that leg, kick it all the way towards the back of the room. And on your inhale, come into a 90-degree angle, flip over that right side, coming into a nice little spinal twist. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, I want you to come into a cobra pose, a Bhujangasana, by gently pushing our palms into the mat, lifting up through, keeping our entire torso down onto the mat. We're just going to come into a nice little front bend here by lifting up as much or as little as you can, keeping our elbows into the floating ribs, chest up towards the sky. Breathe through the front of the chest, and exhale, roll it down. One more time, inhale, cobra pose. I want you to lift through the chest, sinking our hips and feet into the mat. And exhale, come down. When you're ready, I want you to push through our Chaturanga Dandasana, coming into our downward facing dog, pushing our tailbone towards the back of the room, and bringing our heels down evenly towards the mat. We're going to take 5 rounds of cleansing breath here, pushing our heels into the mat, coming into a nice little bend here in both kneecaps if it's a little bit too tight for you. I want you to focus on opening up evenly through both hips and elongating the top of the head towards the mat. I want you to create space and length through the entire spine here. Bring your shoulder blades back and down your spine by wrapping them like a book bag. I want you to take the top of the head forward. Make sure that you're pushing evenly through the left and right arm. On your exhale, let all the air go, sinking the weight down and letting gravity bring you closer towards the tops of your thighs. Gaze or drishti at the navel. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, let it go. Inhale through the nose. Making more space, more height within your downward facing dog. Ooh. And exhale out. When you're ready, I want you to take tiny little tiptoe steps with your feet up into the middle of your palms. I want you to bring your feet out hips distance apart. Maybe bring a nice little bend here into the knees and wrap your arm or your palm around each opposing elbow. I want you to just come into the foundation of your feet here, really feeling where you're actually touching the floor. Make sure that you're pushing through the left and right side of your feet, bringing the entire leg into activation here. I want you to draw the thighs up the leg, and I want you to let the lower spine hang more heavy. Take 3 rounds of cleansing breath, maybe gently shaking your head, yes. Shaking your head no. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sink down. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it all go. Shake your head yes. Gently shake your head no while you flip the position, bringing whichever palm is on the other elbow. Take 3 cleansing breaths here, in through the nose and exhaling loudly, bringing the entire rib cage back into the midline of the body. The deeper that you breathe, the deeper that your pose will go. The deeper that your pose will go, the deeper that your confidence will run. Express yourself and don't be scared to try new things. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, dragging the tailbone towards the sky, bringing the top of the head towards the floor, and keep your gaze or drishti at your belly button. Last and final breath. Make it the biggest one yet. Exhale, let it all go. Let your hands hang heavy. Bring your feet to meet in the middle of your mat. Gently bend your knees, and I want you to slowly roll root to rise, coming up, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae, letting your head hang up last. Bring your chin parallel towards the floor, roll your shoulder blades back evenly towards the mat. I want you to open your palms towards the front of the room. Keeping your eyes open or closed, I want you to come into your practice and promise yourself that you are going to create new height. Coming back into your intention, coming back into the visualization. Exhale, tuck your chin in towards the chest. Inhale, palms root to rise, sweeping our arms up above us. And our exhale, sink our feet into the floor, tuck that tailbone under slightly, and gradually lean back, bringing the back of your body evenly towards the back of the room. I want you to imagine a little invisible line traced right above you as you watch it go back and fall forward. Inhale, root to rise, sweeping our arms up tall above us. Exhale, swan dive down, coming into our Uttanasana. Bending the knees as much as you need, letting the head hang down heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, pushing our palms into the shins. I want you to really drag the top of the head forward, creating an even and flat surface here on your lower spine. I want you to drag the entire rib cage and the upper chest completely forward. Find new space that you didn't even know was there, maybe coming up onto the tiptoes of your feet and pushing our heels back down. On your exhale, forward fold, pushing back through both hips evenly. And on your inhale, bring our palms down towards the floor. Now we're going to lift our right foot towards the back, drop down onto that right knee, and we're going to drag that right hip forward and bring that left hip back, creating an even space for our hips to naturally let that tailbone sink down towards the floor. I want you to keep that left knee right on top of that left ankle and bring all 5 toes of the left foot facing forward and bring all 5 toes of the back foot facing towards the back. Try and bring the entire top of that back foot evenly onto the mat. This will help you really drag your hips together. Now with our hand position, we have 4 variations. Variation 1 is where we're going to come up onto our tiptoes, bringing our shoulder blades back evenly behind us and bring our gaze or drishti up to the sky. Breathing through the top of the chest is going to allow us to create more space and elongation through the front body. Variation 2 is where we bring both of our palms right to the outside of our hips. We're going to try and drag our fingers down towards the floor while lifting through the spine and opening up through the front right thigh. Bring our eyes or gaze drishti up towards the sky and inhale through the front of the chest. And exhale out. If you would like to come into variation 3, bring your arms up tall above you, pulling through evenly of the left and right side body and sinking deeper through that right thigh. Inhale, gaze or drishti up towards the sky. And if you're feeling open in today's practice, at some point you can come into a full variation by leaning evenly towards the back in our Hatha Uttanasana form. Inhale, coming up, bringing your palms down towards the floor. Kick that left foot back. We're going to push that tailbone towards the back of the room, sinking our feet into the floor. We're going to come into a mountain pose, also known as a downward facing dog in the Ashtanga series. We're going to inhale, drag the top of the head towards the ground, bring your gaze or drishti towards the navel, and drag that tailbone back. Inhale through the nose. And our exhale, I want you to roll forward, coming into our Plankasana. Now we're going to come into our Namaskarasana, our 4-point salute. We're going to drop down on our toes, our knees, our chest, and our chin. We're going to push the weight of the body over the wrist and slowly lower down and bring our gaze or drishti up out in front of us. Inhale, slowly roll forward, coming into a cobra pose by keeping our feet and our hips heavy onto the mat. Inhale, gaze up towards the sky. And our exhale, shoot that tailbone back. I want you to kick that right foot up towards the sky, pushing through the heel, making sure our hips are squared and even. We want to make sure that we're pushing evenly through the palms and through the feet. Inhale, dragging the top of the head towards the ground. And exhale, bring that right knee in towards the chest, dragging that right foot in between the palms. Come down onto the top of that left knee or right above the left knee to drag that left foot forward and bring that right hip back. Take a second to rock back and forth to find stability here and evenness in our hips. When you're ready, I want you to bring that right knee right on top of that right ankle. I want you to tuck that tailbone down, lift through the side bodies, opening up through the front of that left thigh, and come into a variation 1, 2, 3, or 4 of our equestrian pose. Stay here for about 3 breaths, really lifting through the torso, opening up through the chest. And on your exhale, bring your palms down towards the floor. I want you to either kick that left foot up, coming into a standing split, or gently hop into your standing split. Pushing that left foot up towards the sky is really going to help you elongate the back of our leg muscles here. And I want you to let the head hang down heavy with gravity. Inhale, foot to the nose. Drop that left foot down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, coming and pushing our palms into the shin, really elongating and creating space in the back of the neck, the shoulders, and the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your palms into the chest. I want you to slowly roll, root to rise. Bring your arms up tall to the sky. Exhale, backward fold, coming into our Hatha Uttanasana. Coming up tall, palms to chest, Samastatiti. These are the 9 primary asanas of the Hatha Surya Namaskara. Go before them for 3 more rounds. Going at your own pace or flowing with me, yogis, this is your time. Inhale, palms to chest, root to rise. Exhale, fold back into our Hatha Uttanasana. Inhale, root to rise, forward fold, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, pushing the top of our head forward, really flattening and evening out the back of our spine here. Dragging the spine out of the hips, really creating space. Exhale, fold. Inhale, kick that right foot up towards the sky, drop it down towards the mat. I want you to scissor our legs together, really dragging that right foot forward, bringing that left hip back, and coming into a variation 1, 2, 3, or 4. Inhale, lift, and exhale, palms down, bring that left foot back, mountain pose or downward facing dog. Inhale, I want you to roll forward, coming into our 4-point salute, our Namaskarasana. Dropping down onto our toes, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, drag the weight forward, bring the chest up, sink the heels, hips down. Pop that tailbone back, coming into a downward or mountain. Inhale, kick that right foot forward, coming into our equestrian pose, dropping that left knee down towards the mat. Inhale, variation 1, 2, 3, or 4. Inhale, palms down, kick that left foot up towards the sky, standing split. Knee to nose, drop it down, halfway lift. Forward fold. Palms to chest, root to rise, lifting up tall towards the sky, pushing through the outer sides of our feet, activating the outer sides of our legs and our side bodies. Open your arms out long into a football field. Exhale, come back. Using the entire back side to open up through the chest. Standing tall, prayer pose, Samasatiti. Last round, inhale, palms to chest, root to rise. And our exhale, fold back. Inhale, root to rise, forward fold, Uttanasana, letting the head hang down. Halfway lift. Palms to the mat, bring our left foot back towards the mat, dropping that left knee down and scissoring our legs together. Stack that right ankle underneath that right knee, lifting up tall through our hips and coming into a variation 1, 2, 3, or 4. Standing up tall, palms down, right foot back, mountain pose. Roll forward into a Namaskarasana, 4-point salute, coming down into our toes, knees, chest, and chin. Ripple forward, Cobra. Shoot it back. Left foot up towards the sky, knee to nose. Drop it down, bringing our equestrian pose into a nice even foundation here. Remembering to rock back and forth as much as you need to open up those hips and the back of our legs. Drop that right hip down, and arms come into variation 1, 2, 3, or 4. Coming up, palms down, right foot up, standing split. Kicking through that right heel. Exhale, palms down. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Root to rise, coming up tall above us. Roll our shoulder blades back and exhale, fold back. Standing up tall, prayer pose, and Samasatiti. Take 2 rounds of cleansing breath, or maybe even 3, before coming into our Sun Salutation B of the Hatha series. Remember to come into your breath, to be kind, and above all, to have fun. When you're ready, yogis, one last cleansing breath in through the nose. Loud exhale out the mouth. Inhale, palms to chest, root to rise. And on this exhale, sit down into our imaginary chair, Utkatasana. Take the weight out of the toes and into the heels. Bring the knees on top, stacked on top of the ankles. I want you to sit down evenly through your imaginary seat, lifting up through the lower spine and opening up evenly through the back of our shoulders. Bring your gaze or drishti up towards the sky and try to lean back as much as you can. Inhale deeply through the chest. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, pushing our palms into the shins, elongating our top of our head forward. Exhale, palms down, jump, step, walk, both feet to the back of the mat, upward facing dog, pushing the tops of our feet into the mat. Bringing our hips down evenly towards the floor, pushing our shoulder blades down and away from our ears. Inhale, breathing through the front of the chest. Shoot it back. Inhale, kick that right foot up towards the sky, drag it in, knee to nose, drop that right foot down. Bring that left foot back at a 45-degree angle, pushing through the outer side of that left foot. I want you to bring that right knee stacked on top of that right ankle, stacking our torso on top of that right thigh, elongating the torso towards the front of the room. And when you're ready, tuck that tailbone under. Inhale, stack the torso on top of the hips. I want you to really open up your stance here. Play around as much as you need. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, root to rise, sweeping our arms up tall above us. Bring our shoulder blades back to touch behind us. Inhale, interlace our fingers, reaching up tall above us. And exhale, come down in palms to the mat. Right foot back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, shoot the tailbone back, rolling over the toes. Inhale, left foot up towards the sky, knee to nose. Drop it down, bringing that right foot towards the back. I want you to stack the torso on top of that left thigh and come up tall, stacking into our warrior one. Pushing through the outer right foot, bring that right hip forward, drag that left hip back, and I want you to really stack that left knee right on top of that left ankle. Tucking the tailbone under, lifting through the side bodies will bring a much even surface and elongation through the torso. Inhale, gaze up towards the sky. Sit a little bit dinker. And on your exhale, forward fold. Bring that left foot back, chaturanga dandasana, rolling it out into a downward facing dog. Bring your elbows into the floating ribs. And inhale, upward facing dog. On your exhale, shoot the tailbone back. I want you to jump, step, or walk both feet evenly to the front of the mat. Halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming into our Utkatasana, chair pose, taking the weight out of the toes and into the heels. Bring your gaze or drishti up towards the sky. Sitting evenly through the back of the hips. Exhale, stand up tall, prayer pose, Samasatiti. 2 more rounds of our Sun B yogis, moving at your own pace or with me. When you're ready, inhale, palm to chest, root to rise, standing tall through the foundation, opening up through the outer side bodies. Exhale, Utkatasana. Gaze drishti up towards the sky, opening up wide through our fingers. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, jump step, walk both feet to the back of the mat. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot up towards the sky, knee to nose, drop it down. Bring that left foot out, 45-degree angle. Stack the torso on top of the thigh. Tuck the tailbone under, inhale, and stack the torso on top of the hips. Maybe bring one palm around each elbow here to bring our shoulders square behind us. Lift through the spine, bring our shoulder blades down, and feel how deeper your foundation can truly get. Stacking that right knee on top of that right ankle. Inhale, gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, fold down, chaturanga. Right foot back. Upward facing dog. Shoot it back, left foot up towards the sky, knee to nose. Right foot back, warrior one. Stacking our torso on top of that thigh, stacking, lifting, and opening up deeper through that outer right foot. Using that right foot as a rudder to drag that right hip forward and to bring that left hip back. I want you to stack that left knee on top of that left ankle, opening up evenly through the hips. Arms up tall above. Virajadasana 1, warrior 1. Gaze up to the drishti. Exhale, bring the torso evenly above that thigh. Bring our palms down towards the mat. Bring that left foot back, downward facing dog. Ripple forward, chaturanga dandasana. Upward facing dog. Shoot it back, downward facing dog. I want you to jump, step, walk, both feet to the front of the mat. Coming into our last Sun B. Halfway lift and fold. Letting the head hang heavy. Maybe shake your head yes. Maybe shake your head no. Palms together, Utkatasana, chair pose, sitting down into our imaginary seat, lifting the weight out of the toes and into the heels. And on your exhale, standing up tall, palms to chest, Samasthiti. Last and final round, yogis, make it your best one yet. I want you to move through each breath with intention. I want you to let this asanas completely rid you of the emotional shit that you may be built up with. Let it all go. Use this last round to power through it, to break your own limitations and your own concepts and your own limiting beliefs. When you're ready, yogis, inhale, palm to chest, root to rise, sink down, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit that tailbone down a little bit deeper. Bring that chest up a little bit higher. Open your shoulders up a little bit more evenly back behind you. Inhale a little bit deeper. Exhale, fold. Let the head hang heavy. Halfway lift. And chaturanga, jump step walk, both feet to the back of the mat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pushing through the tops of the feet, opening up through the hips and bringing the elbows, the shoulders, and the wrists into perfect alignment. Exhale, shoot that tailbone back, right foot up towards the sky, knee to nose, drop it down. Kicking through the outer left foot. Bring our hips in parallel alignment by dragging that left hip forward, dragging that right hip back, tucking that tailbone under, creating space as much as you need. Inhale, arms up parallel, shoulders height, gaze up. Exhale, fold it down, palms down, chaturanga dandasana. Upward facing dog. Rolling over those toes, bring the tailbone back, left foot up towards the sky, knee to nose, drag it through. Virjanasana 1, warrior 1 on the left side. Bringing that knee directly on top of that ankle, pushing through the outer right foot. Remember to drag that right hip forward, bring that left hip back, tuck that tailbone under, breathe through the side bodies. Create more height, create more space. Exhale, sink the hips down deeper. Arms up parallel to the ears, gaze up to the sky. Find your fierce foundation. Find your new frame. Stop thinking small. Stop feeling small. Inhale, reach up taller through the palms, opening up through the outer side bodies and sinking down a little bit deeper. Breathe in a little bit more air. Expanding through the tops of the collarbones, and on your exhale, bring the palms down, left foot back, chaturanga dandasana. Upward facing dog, opening up evenly through the front of the chest by bringing the back of our shoulders together and bringing them down away from our ears. Drag the hips forward, sink the legs down. Exhale, roll it back, downward facing dog. Opening our palms out wide, opening our feet out wide. I want you to come into a wide-legged downward dog. Bringing your feet off to the sides of the mat. Bringing your palms out to the sides of the mat. I want you to bring your tailbone towards the back of the room, dragging the top of the mat, or the top of the head towards the front of the mat. Bring your gaze or drishti to your belly button. And exhale, let it go. When you're ready, bringing your palms back in, bringing your feet back in. Inhale through the nose. Exhale loudly out the mouth. For the next few rounds of breath, I want you to move like a wave. I want you to push off of the heels, coming up with your hips. I want you to push the weight through the lower spine, rippling through the middle, and elongating through the top. On your exhale, I want you to roll it back, reversing this movement, moving each vertebrae independently, coming in to the alignment of your spine, the evenness of your side bodies. Find out where you're a little bit tight and where you can send your breath. Find out what emotions are coming up for you, and just become aware of them. Don't hold them. Don't keep them around. But just notice them. Notice where you're feeling these emotions. In yoga, it's very easy for stored emotions to become de-wedged. And unless you're aware of this happening or know about this happening, it can seem very emotional. It can be very frustrating. And it can be, well, violating. Coming to a yoga class to move your body and finding out that you're releasing trauma you didn't even know was there can be a lot. So if anything comes up today, or if anything has come up today, I hope you just rest and heal in child's pose. Come into whatever that thought or emotion is holding on to and just process it. You don't need to fix it, you don't need to solve it, but just be aware of it. Treat it like a visitor coming into your home. Offer it its time and its attention, but don't house it. Moving through each movement. Exhale, shoot the tailbone back. Sinking the hips and the heels down towards the mat. I want you to bring your knees out to the sides of the mat, out wide. Bringing your tailbone tucked and bringing your heels right underneath. I want you to create length here by elongating the spine up and out of the hips. Shaking it towards the left and shaking it towards the right, just opening up those hip rotators just a little bit more before coming into our Shavasana. We're gonna perform one round of pigeon on each side momentarily before I bring you into our deep and much needed rest. When you're ready, I want you to use the palms to bring the torso stacked right on top of the tailbone. When you're ready, I want you to bring the left foot out to the left side of the mat. I want you to bring our right foot back like we had it in our equestrian pose. Now this can be a really deep hip opener, so use your wrist or use your palms as bases, or using a yoga block will help you bring down your weight. I want you to open up the front of that right thigh and the inner of the left. Bringing that left knee out towards the left side of the mat, opening up and rolling through that left foot. I want you to gradually bring that torso down towards the mat as much as you can, coming into our lizard. I want you to breathe through the bottom of the belly here, elongating and breathing through the spine. And exhale, let it all go. One more breath, inhale through the nose. And exhale out. When you're ready, coming up onto your palms, I want you to bring that left foot into the middle of our mat. I want you to begin rocking back and forth, coming into runner's lunges. Bringing our hips back evenly towards the back, coming onto the tiptoes of that right foot and stretching through the underside of that left foot by bringing all 5 toes of that left foot up towards the sky. Keeping that foot even, rock forward, bringing that knee on top of that ankle, opening up through that right thigh. Exhale, sink it down. Bringing it back one more time, opening up through that back left leg. And on our exhale, I want you to bring that foot over towards the right side of the mat, bringing that left shin parallel towards the front of the mat, opening up through that left hip and bringing that right hip evenly towards the mat. Bringing the entire top of this left leg down towards the mat and externally rotating that right hip to bring an even more balance here. I want you to bring both hips evenly towards the front. I want you to breathe through the belly to create space and to stretch the skin to really open up through the front side. Inhale, elongate, breathing through the ribcage. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, breathing through the chest, pushing our palms into that shin, opening up by bringing our shoulder blades evenly to touch behind us. And our exhale, fold over, coming over that shin, pushing through our forearms to let our torso gradually fall down towards the mat. Inhale and breathe deeply here for about 3 rounds. Maybe bring your chest evenly towards the mat, closing your eyes and sinking into this hip. If some emotions again come up here, just let them come and let them go. Don't get stuck on the fine details, the shame, the anger. Don't get stuck on the sadness or the disappointment. If you see or feel betrayal, change it with love and forgiveness. If you experience hate and shame, change it with hope and grace. I want you to breathe deeply through the nose. Exhale loudly out the mouth, sinking deeper through your pigeon. If this is as far as you want your asana to go, just stay here for 2 more breaths. If you wish to deepen this asana, then I implore you to gradually use your palms to bring the torso stacked right on top of your hips. Maybe bring that right hip forward, creating more evenness through the hips. And on our exhale, I want you to push through the palms, lifting the chest, the spine, and the gaze up higher towards the sky. Stay here for 2 more breaths, deeply breathing in and out through the nose, constricting the back of the throat. One more round, inhale through the nose. And loud exhale out through the nose. Opening up, bringing that right foot over, bringing that left leg out. I want you to shake your feet towards the left and towards the right, bringing blood and movement back into your legs. And when you're ready, I want you to come up onto that right foot, swing that left foot back. I want you to bring that right foot out to the outer right side of the mat, opening up that right knee towards the right wall. I want you to drag that left hip forward to bring the entire top of that foot evenly on towards the mat. And I want you to open up through the hips. Maybe rock back and forth, creating movement here. And when you're ready, I want you to slowly lower down as much as you can, just keeping your hips even. Inhale through the nose, elongating the top of the head forward. And exhale, let it go. One more round, inhale through the nose. And exhale, let it go. Pushing up onto the palms, bringing that right foot into the middle of our mat. I want you to begin rocking back and forth in our little runner's lunge here. Dragging that right thigh or that right hip back, bringing that left hip forward. Pushing through the entire top of that left foot into the mat. I want you to activate the back of that right leg by pushing our hips evenly towards the back of the room. I want you to open up here, bringing that right hip down, creating space as much as you need. I want you to drag the lower belly out of the hips, pushing the hips back. And exhale, let it go. Rocking forward, coming over that left knee, bring our gaze or drishti up towards the sky. Drag that right hip back, open up evenly through the chest. And exhale one more time, bringing those hips towards the back of the room, bringing the 5 toes of that right foot up towards the sky. Dragging the top of the head towards the front of the room. On your exhale, I want you to bring that right foot over towards the left. Bring that right knee towards the right side of the mat. Opening our hips up evenly, dragging that right hip forward. Breathing through the front of the side bodies here, right on the hips. And exhale, fold down into a variation 1, a variation 2, or 3. But for the next few breaths, I just want you to sit in stillness. Try not to fidget, try not to move. Simply just sit here in the frustration sometimes of this asana. This is a very big hip opener, and for a lot of us, we store all of our emotions here. So when we sit here in discomfort and we sit here in a pose, what we're doing is we're teaching the body that it's okay to let it go, that it's time to let it go. And sometimes, just like a child, all it needs is somebody to show it that it's still going to be there even through hard times. Breathing through the discomfort here and sending that breath, sending that new oxygen, that fresh blood to those muscles that need it, to that space that we have failed to see for quite a while, and now it needs our attention. Breathing deeply through the lower belly. I want you to elongate, bringing the top of the head forward towards the front of the room, bringing evenness into our shoulders here. And exhale, fold one last time. letting whatever thoughts come here just simply come and go. One and last final cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. And on your exhale, bring that right foot over in front of you. Shake out your legs. And slowly roll back, bringing the entire backside onto the mat. Finish whatever asana or whatever last little pose you need before slipping off into our Shavasana. But if you can, stay still. I want you to come into your breath, and I want you to come into merely just feeling your body, connecting to it. Coming into the breath and coming in to the pumping of the blood. In just a moment, we're going to come into our Shavasana, our well-needed rest. But for just a few, I want you to bring your left palm onto the left side of your heart, and I want you to bring your right palm right onto the middle of your belly. I want you to begin focusing on the left and right side independently, noticing the pumping and noticing the movement. Noticing the individuality of each force. Letting this awareness let you drift off. Or just begin to close your eyes. Begin to close off the constant background noise, the to-do list. Whatever event happened to you today, just let it go. And for the next 3 minutes, I want you to sit in silence, and I want you to feel your body. I want you to feel you, coming into you, being here for you, pushing you. Coming back into your intention, coming back into your thought of what pushed you, what brought you here, and what you're going to take away. In the next few breaths, visualize this. I will let you know when it's time to exit out of our Shavasana, but for now, yogis, simply rest. And listen to your own individual teacher. Shavasana, yogis. One day, you're going to wake up different. Who was with? Because they didn't have to pick a side. You're going to wake up differently. And you're going to realize that all the things that kept you up at night, kept your soul from knowing peace, body coming into your breath. I want you to begin inhaling through, exhaling out of the mouth, bringing the awareness back into the body. I want you to begin wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, shaking the legs and shins. I want you to begin bringing your practice back into your body, coming into your intention, coming into yourself. I want you to take a big, deep inhale through the nose, expanding through the entire body like a good morning stretch. And exhale, skip down. I want you to come into a ball, and I want you to fall onto the right side, coming into a fetal position. I want your entire body onto the ground, and I want you to lay evenly on one side. Spine on itself, and let it sit and rest. Take one cleansing breath in through the nose and exhaling out of the nose, constricting the rib cage into the midline, securing this new posture, this new found flexibility. Lifting you up, coming to your seat, I want you to stack the tailbone high and tall to the sky. I want you to reach through the spine and create a pull on the floor and a pull through the head to lengthen, bring in more space. I want you to rest your shoulder blades down towards itself, and I want you to bring the elbows into the floating ribs, bringing the palms onto the knees. In a moment, I want you to thank yourself for showing up today. Thank your practice for pushing you this far. You guys made it. Happy Saturday, yogis. Inhale, palms into prayer pose. On your exhale, bring the chin into the chest. Down to your practice. Bowing down. version of you wish to truly be. Thank you guys so much for flowing with me on this Saturday evening here in Flamenco Beach. I will see you guys tomorrow for our Sunday flow, and I will be back in Puerto Rico before heading out to Atlanta. So we'll be going